Hurricane Irma is now forecast to hit the Florida Keys as a Category 5 storm. Obviously, Hurricane Irma continues to be a threat that is going to devastate the United States, Brock Long, administrator of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, said at a press conference Friday morning. "We're going to have a couple rough days." Irma was downgraded from a Category 5 to a Category 4 storm early Friday morning. As of 5 p.m. Eastern Time, the storm was moving west at 12 miles per hour and located 345 miles southeast of Miami. The National Hurricane Center cautioned that Irma is extremely dangerous, with maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour, which are strong enough to uproot trees, bring down power poles and rip off the roofs and some exterior walls of well-built frame homes. The National Hurricane Center issued its first hurricane warnings for Florida overnight, warning residents that preparations to protect life should be rushed to completion. Mandatory evacuation orders have been issued for barrier islands, coastal communities, low-lying areas and mobile homes across Florida, including the counties of Brevard, Broward, Collier, Indian River, Martin, Miami-Dade, Monroe, Palm Beach and St. John. ABC News estimates roughly 1.2 million Florida residents have been ordered to evacuate. Meteorologists expect Irma hit the Keys as a Category 5 hurricane between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. ET on Sunday. Overnight projections of Irma's path showed less of a threat to the Carolinas as the monster storm appeared likely to move directly up the middle of Florida and curve inland. Meteorologists predict Irma will continue to weaken as the storm moves inland Sunday into Monday. Irma will approach Jacksonville on Monday around 8 a.m. ET with winds of about 75 miles per hour, which would make it a dangerous Category 1 hurricane. Then, Irma should weaken rapidly to a tropical storm, depression or a remnant low later Monday as it moves across state lines into Georgia, then potentially Alabama and Tennessee on Tuesday into Wednesday, meteorologists say. Disney World announced in a statement Friday afternoon that its theme parks and water parks, as well as Disney Springs and the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex, would be closing early Saturday and remain closed through Monday. Disney's resort hotels will remain open. The worst of Irma's winds and storm surge are projected to be near Marathon and Key Largo, but meteorologists say Miami and heavily populated southeastern Florida will still be on the strongest side of the storm. Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe on Friday declared a state of emergency in anticipation of Irma's potential impact. "It is unfortunate that just as our nation has begun the process to repair the catastrophic damage from Hurricane Harvey, that we are faced with another extreme storm," McAuliffe said in a statement. However, if there is one lesson we can take from the tragic events that occurred in Texas, it is that we must redouble our preparation efforts. Meanwhile, Georgia Governor Nathan Deal has declared a state of emergency for 94 counties in the state, his office said in a press release. A storm surge warning was in effect Friday morning for the Florida Keys and the Sebastian Inlet southward around the Florida Peninsula to Venice, with the National Hurricane Center saying there is danger of life-threatening inundation from rising waters moving inland from the coastline, during the next 36 hours. Moreover, heavy rains are forecast to drench northern Florida, Georgia and even possibly South Carolina and Tennessee by Tuesday. Rainfall accumulations in southeast Florida and the Florida Keys are expected to reach 10 to 15 inches, with totals up to 20 inches locally. Eastern Florida up the coast to Georgia is expected to receive 8 to 12 inches, according to the National Hurricane Center. We cannot stress this enough, #Irma is extremely dangerous. The #storm surge across the #full Keys could be devastating. 5 to 10 feet above ground. pic.twitter.com/thaglagoo, NWS Key West, Adams Key West September 8, 2017. Government personnel have been deployed from Alabama to North Carolina to prepare for Irma. Florida alone should anticipate days-long power outages, FEMA said. The Turks and Caicos Islands were hit hard as Irma passed over the tiny archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean. A government spokesperson told ABC News the British Overseas Territory had sustained catastrophic damage. The National Hurricane Center warned of a storm surge up to 20 feet on Turks and Caicos with 8 to 12 inches of rain for the low-lying islands through Sunday. Meanwhile, The Bahamas began to experience the extent of Irma's wrath Friday morning. The storm's speed was expected to slow as the core of the hurricane passed between the Bahamas and the northern coast of Cuba. According to the Associated Press, at least 20 people have died and thousands were left homeless as a result of Irma, the most powerful Atlantic storm in a decade, after it battered a string of Caribbean